Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's start the episode 9 of this perfect crown. Before that, if anyone hasn't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. Also hit the like button below. In the last episode, while the Hui Ju was giving her opening speech, reporters suddenly barged in and asked, is it true that the marriage is contractual? The papers before their marriage was stolen from his safe and leaked by someone? It clearly mentioned that after 3 years they would divorce. Ever since this news broke out, everyone started asking questions. Did you have a contract marriage? Is it true you plan to divorce in 3 years? Did you intentionally deceive the people? And rapid-fire questions began. Right now, Hui Ju is scared and didn't know what to do. At that moment, the Prince Ian came onto the stage, says, "Keep your eyes on me," and holds her hand and takes her away. This episode starts from that scene. Since this news came out, the Hui Ju is a bit scared. While both are walking, the Prime Minister Seong Hui is standing outside, says, "Let's get you out first." While the Prince Ian is asking what's happening, Choi and Do Hye arrives. He says it's swarming with reporters and many students outside. Everyone will ask question after question. So right now you can't go outside. What should we do? Do Hye says, if you ask what our royal guards are doing right now, we only have a few with us, so we have to manage with them. Now Prince Ian says they can send the Hui Ju first with the royal guards and then leave separately. But the Hui Ju says, I don't want to, tightly holds his hand and says, I'll stay with you, let's leave together. The Prime Minister Seong Hui notices this, and because every time he sees them hold hands, he looks at them in a strange way. Now they open the hall doors and both walk out. Holding hands, the royal guards spread umbrellas and safely escort them into a car. But looking at who got into the car, it's actually Choi and Do Hye. Prince Ian and Hui Ju didn't go there. These two acted as them and got into that car. It's only after entering another car that they remove their face coverings. Here Choi, he says, even though it's a tinted glass car, people outside can't see through it. After a while, they both realize they're still holding each other's hands. Both look at each other, then let go, and Choi says, I should update the royal guards. Do Hye says, I should also update the secretary. Both making calls separately. They arrive at the palace. There, Queen Yoon asks, where are the prince and princess? Choi tries to say something, but Do Hye doesn't let him speak, so both stay quiet. The Queen Yoon gets angry. Meanwhile, the Prince Ian and Hui Ju have actually gone to the Prime Minister's office because this is the safest option. The office is buzzing with activity, people everywhere, taking calls continuously, each asking a different question. It's chaotic. Overseas calls are coming in too. Seong Hui tells one person he's written a letter as instructed and sends it. Seeing the hectic atmosphere, the Hui Ju suddenly zones out for a while. She doesn't register what's happening. Prince and keeps calling her name Hui Ju, but she doesn't respond. After a long time, she snaps back to reality. By then, it seems they've already gone up in the elevator. All three go inside and begin a serious conversation. The Prime Minister Seong Hui asks, let's start by confirming a few things. Did you two draw up the marriage contract yourselves? The 3-year divorce clause, did you actually write that? They say yes, that's how we made it, both looking blank. Seong Hui says, well, let's see what we can do. I haven't discussed it with the royal secretariat yet, but they will most likely choose not to respond. The Prince Ian immediately speaks up loudly, what do you mean? So, are you asking us to stay silent? Seong Hui says, yes, precisely, what else can be done? As long as the contract is real, any explanation or defense will only stir up more noise. Prince Ian replies, waiting for things to die down could backfire on us. It was only a farce in the beginning. The Prime Minister asks, it only started out as deception. Is that what you're going to say as an answer? The contract stipulates a divorce within 3 years. Can you guarantee that after 3 years you won't divorce? Both just stare blankly. Here the secretary comes in and says, you must see this news, come with me, and takes him away. Meanwhile, the Sang Tae-ju and Dae-young are talking. Tae-ju says, I wondered why that brat would just hand over the company. Turns out she had a whole plan. Is that why she handed over the company to us? So that after 3 years she can take it back. Dae-young says then everything that happened between them was just acting. What about that kiss over the palace wall? Behaving lovingly before the dress fitting. Then what about when she collapsed and he carried her out in his arms? Was all of that fake? Then Tae-ju replies, yes, who cares about that right now? Our family is about to be ruined. Sarcastically, then she says, well, I'm just worried about Hui Ju, that's why I'm asking. While they're talking, messages suddenly start coming in. One message says the contract leak has already destroyed public trust in the royal couple waivers. Now, another piece of information has also leaked following the leak of their marriage contract earlier today. There seems to be a hidden motive behind this contract marriage. Seong Hui Ju had previously been identified as prime suspect in the Junghoyeon Hall fire that broke out, and a case was filed, and some critics argue that the Grand Prince may have intervened in the investigation for personal reasons. Some are voicing concerns whether he is connected to Junghoyeon Hall fire incident. What are they planning using this marriage? The news is saying all this, and the Prince Ian and Hui Ju are watching it. Hui Ju feels unsettled. Immediately, Prince Ian turns off the TV and asks, "Are you scared?" "I'm not scared for myself. I'm scared for you, afraid something might damage your reputation." She asks, "If he's scared, honor is all you have." Prince Ian then looks at the cloth and says, "I am afraid not for my reputation, but that my honor will end up harming you somehow." While both are talking, the Prime Minister Jong-woo comes in and says, "I believe it's best for you both to go back to the palace immediately." The reporters are But securing your safety comes first. Please return to the palace now. Meanwhile, the Queen Yoon asks, "Did you deliver the message to father about everything happening outside?" "Yes, it's been informed. He sent a word that he is on his way. Now call all our royal relatives and announce there's a council hall meeting. Assemble everyone," she instructs to the court lady. The Prince Ian and Hui Ju arrive at the palace. Choi and Do-hee both come and say they're being called immediately to the council hall meeting. All royal relatives have gathered. The Prince Ian goes there angrily. He sees everyone seated in a group, higher officials like. The Prince Ian goes to the Queen Yoon and says, "Have you summoned the royal relatives? Can we speak privately for a bit?" The Queen Yoon loudly shouts back, "I do not wish to hear your excuses. Do you truly believe you'll be forgiven for what you've done? What you did is not a small thing. You deceived the people who trusted us and bring disgrace upon the crown. You, who sold off your royal status, and you who wanted to gain this royal status, neither of you deserves to stand here." Assistants Choi and Do-yi take both of them and leave this place. The Prince Ian stands there clenching his fist tightly in anger. With no other choice, he walks away. It seems his Queen Yoon also turns toward the Hui Ju. Prince Ian moves ahead to block her. Queen Yoon says, "I found it rather peculiar from the start. Why would you want to marry this ordinary, arrogant girl? And from the start, how she seemed to have no regard for royal tradition or decorum. It is simply because of her low pedigree. I doubted it even then." Hearing all this makes Prince Ian even more furious. Thinking about all of this, he walks away fast. The heroine follows behind, calling, "Your Highness, Your Highness." He turns and says, "I'm fine," she says. "You're far from fine. Look at your hands." He opens his hands, she says, who clenches their fist this hard out of anger. "Just look at this hand. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. Don't be so angry." Then the Prince Ian pulls the Hui Ju into a tight hug. Only then do both calm down a little. The next day comes. The stocks in the Hui Ju's company have completely crashed, it seems. The assistant Do-hye is very scared looking at it. Here Choi comes and says, "We're in big danger. A lot of blame is falling on us." He says there's an article claiming the Grand Princess faked her collapse. This is about to blow up in our face. Here we can see the Prince Ian is talking to the Prime Minister Jong-woo. "We cannot wait any longer. They're going so far as to suggest that my wife fainted for show. I shall set the record straight myself. I need to say that yes, we had a contract. Our marriage may have started with a contract, but everything we've shown the people is genuine. All of that needs to be said." The Prime Minister Jong-woo says, "All right, what about the claim that you're vying for the crown? Will you deny that as well? What will you say to that?" The Prince Ian thinks and says, "I don't have such intentions. What if I don't say that? What will you do?" The Prime Minister Jong-woo, without hesitation, says, "I will say the people don't need a king who deceived. We do not need a king who lacks the people's support." The hero glares at him. The Prime Minister Jong-woo then says, "You need to bring this matter to an end. There is only one way. I humbly request that you end your regency." Prince Ian stares back silently. Outside, the same is happening. People are protesting, saying, "Remove the prince and princess from their positions. Banish the Hui Ju. Stop the Prince Ian from the post." Now going back 5 days before the contract was leaked, where the Hui Ju had collapsed, an investigation was ongoing. At that time, a spy girl, Ms. Lee Ariam, was called by the Prime Minister and sent to his office. The spy girl goes to his office and says, "I heard you asked to see me." There it cuts to that scene, where he happened to be looking at the spy's full information. She needs money. Her brother needs surgery and it keeps getting delayed. With such background information, the Prime Minister likely called her suspecting she was used to poison someone. She apparently confessed everything on record. What she said, someone gave me medicine. I was instructed to grind it and mix it into the Grand Prince drink. I only did that much. I was told if I didn't do it, my brother's surgery and gives her all the information. Here's evidence, proving it was a poisoning. A staff testified that the Grand Prince was the intended target, and you had a spy girl. It was done through her. She told everything. She confirmed the substance used and her cryptocurrency records, that the compensation came from Lord in Pyongyang. When she asks who it came from, your father, he says. She gets angry. How dare you suspect my father on a mere servant's word? He replies, you are also under suspicion. We also have doubts about you. We're going to investigate you as well, she screams in anger. The Prince Ian arrives at that moment, it seems. The servant asks if the prince should be led in. The Queen Yun panics, afraid if he already knows everything. The Prime Minister says His Royal Highness remains unaware. He says, but you must answer me. Whether I tell him or not depends on your answer. She asks for some time. He says, until tonight. That is all I can provide you, and leaves. As he walks out, the Prince Ian asks, what brings you here? I came to request her cooperation in the investigation, he says, and leaves. Now the Prince Ian goes inside and tells the Queen Yun, change all the attendants assigned to my wife. Give her new attendants. Noticing something flustered, he asks, are you feeling unwell? She replies, the Grand Princess collapsed at the wedding now. The Grand Prince seeks to replace innocent attendants. The palace is in disarray, is it not? Otherwise nothing. And he leaves. Outside, the Prime Minister sees the Hui Ju. While talking, you're supposed to be getting treatment. Should you be outside already? The Lady Choi nearby says it appears she is weary from all the care the Grand Prince has taken to protect the Grand Princess. Then the Lady Choi says, they're so loving, a new royal heir will come soon. Immediately the Hui Ju says, what in the world are you talking about in a broad daylight, and takes the Prime Minister aside to talk privately. How's the investigation going? Has it made any progress? Did the doctors find anything? He says, yes, the poison was meant for the Prince Ian, we found that. That's why the investigation is moving forward. Then he asks, it seems real, your devotion, have you truly started to love him? She thinks and says, can't I even show this much concern for my spouse? You know our marriage is only for show. How are we supposed to fool the nation if we can't even fool the staff? While talking, someone comes and says the investigation is starting, come let's go, and takes him away. Now the Queen Yun is very scared. She rushes to meet her father. She shows him all the information and asks, were you truly attempting to murder the Grand Prince? Did you arrange this? He reads it and asks, where did you get this? She says, tell me it was not you, isn't this your doing? He asks again, who gave you this? She gets angrier and says, have you lost your mind? If this gets out, what you did will affect everyone, me, the little king, everyone, he says. That's exactly why the Grand Prince must be eliminated. Not only did you burn the late king's final royal edict, but imagine what would happen if he discovers the same fire killed the late king. But the fact that the prince is speaking up now means he knows something. So only by eliminating him, that is the only way to ensure your own safety, mine and our family name. Hearing this, she's speechless. She can't say anything beyond this. This information was given to me by the Prime Minister, she says, and walks away. Now the Prime Minister is waiting and watching as night arrives. The Queen Yun, who went to the palace, tells the Hui Ju, you would do well to tread carefully, and leaves. But Hui Ju doesn't understand anything. Now the Prime Minister's phone starts ringing from the Queen Yun's side. At the same time, the Hui Ju is also calling from another side. It's unclear whose call he attended. The next day is shown. Prime Minister seems to have gone to his father's memorial. He stands there lost in thought. Then Queen Yun arrives there too and asks, how does it feel to have the man hailed as the greatest Prime Minister in history as a father? The Prime Minister immediately says, how does it feel to have a father who will be known as the most dangerous lord in history? I came to ask you something, a small request. Will you agree? She says. Tell me. I think you want to become princess consort. If I create a path for that, will you agree? He says, what are you saying? Don't talk like that. She says, don't you think I understand? The feelings inside your heart are growing stronger day by day, don't you see? Their closeness is giving you pain, isn't it? He thinks and observes the Hui Ju always talks about the Prince Ian, gets anxious when he's in danger. Seeing all this, the Queen Yun seizes the moment. I'll give you something. Hui Yu and Prince Ian, what do you think? She asks. Should that come to light, the court will be in turmoil and the nation in chaos. All the benefits outlined in the contract favor the Grand Princess. Thus, the tide of condemnation will break upon her. But I'll push all blame onto the Prince Ian's side. 2 birds with 1 stone, you take the Hui Ju. And I'll turn the people against the Prince Ian. You have tonight to consider your options. That is all I can provide you, she says and leaves. He doesn't know what to do and is confused. He removes the bracelet he's wearing and places it at his father's memorial spot and leaves. Now back to the present here, Prince Ian asks, do you possess the authority to request that I end the regency? The Prime Minister replies, I have a duty to protect the crown, because it's my responsibility to protect the crown. As long as you represent the crown, you and the crown are one. I will not allow you to drag the crown down with you. If you step down, the crown falls with you. So whatever it is, face it alone, step down from this position, distance yourself from the crown, he says. This matter goes to that Queen Yun. What, they've been talking for 3 hours. The cabinet must be feeling the pressure as well. She says, good. So what is she doing now? She asks. The princess, what is she doing? Is she alone? She sends word asking her to be called. On the other side, the Hui Ju is working when Choi comes and says the Prime Minister is speaking with the Prince and saying things like he told Prince Yan to end his regency. Discussing, Lady Choi comes and says, the Queen Mother is calling you, she wants to see you immediately. She goes inside. Both are seated and glaring at each other. The Queen Yun asks, how does it feel now? How does it feel to have dragged down the cherished prince of the nation? But until he met you, Ian was the pride of the crown. She asks, are you happy? What did you offer him? What did he gain by elevating you so? The Hui Ju replies, did you not read the contract fully? When we got married, His Royal Highness does not want anything from me. He just said stay with me for 3 years, be with my status, that's all he asked. And I simply agreed to do so. The Queen Yun gives a mocking smile. All right, you may go. The Hui Ju walks out, turns and gives an angry look back, and keeps walking. Meanwhile, the Prince Ian's assistant is waiting outside for him. The Prince Ian finishes the meeting, comes out, and says, we should head to the king's quarters immediately. His grandfather has come to visit him. So they rush urgently. She also sends a message to the Choi to bring the Hui Ju and come to the little king's place. At that place, the grandfather brings a bundle of newspapers and says, look at all these. The crown will crumble at this rate. A big danger is coming to our palace. If you want, you can put an end to this. Even the Grand Prince cannot defy your royal command. We can definitely get him removed from his position. The little king says he can't do that. The grandfather starts shouting, you must give this comment. He must be removed from his position. The little king gets scared and starts crying in fear. Did you know that your father's death was also because of him? The grandfather shouts. Right at that moment, the Prince Ian walks in. The grandfather starts shouting, how dare you show such insolence, come in before His Majesty. But the Prince Ian doesn't care at all. He walks straight to the grandfather and grabs him by the throat. He says, how dare you threaten His Majesty? If I ever see you speaking to my nephew like that again, that will be the end of you. Gripping tightly, he calls the servants inside and tells them to take the little king outside first. The grip remains tight. Just then the Hui Ju arrives perfectly on time and says, Your Highness, let him go first. Please don't do anything, and he releases him. Now the Prince Ian comes outside. The little king sees him and is still crying, says, Uncle. The Prince Ian stops and thinks back. When the king died in the fire accident before that, the king and the Queen Yun were having an argument. To play with the little boy, the Prince Ian had also come there. Both the Prince Ian and the little boy were playing in the very next room where the argument was happening. They could hear everything clearly, where the Queen Yun had said, I would rather see you dead if you have no position, and left. Both the little boy and the Prince Ian heard that. He also watched the Queen Yun walk past. Back in the present, the Prince Ian sees his nephew and calls him over. Your Majesty, come here. He runs and hugs him. Prince Ian says, From now on, if you are ever scared, you must come to me immediately, whenever that may be, and both hug warmly. Then he calls the Hui Ju to his room. He says, "Sorry that unpleasant sight you had to see me like that." The heroine replies, "I thought it was see pleasant. You did well, I understand your situation well. But this is what I also want. If anyone stands against you, you must fight back if you wish to protect something. You can't stay silent about everything. If you feel something is wrong, say it's wrong," she says. Hearing this, the Prince Ian just looks at the Hui Yu. Now these two, Choi and Do Hui, are chatting as they walk. Choi clears his throat awkwardly. "Flowers, I do like them the most." Then Do Hui like, "I didn't ask what you like. I asked what does the prince likes." He replies, "Oh, the prince, he doesn't really care much about anything big. He likes black tea, drinks it well. Beyond that, he eats only bitter chocolate. He doesn't like anything loud. He flipped out the last time I put on some cologne. Even flowers, not sure if he likes them either," she says. "Oh, okay," he asks her. "Did you show the grand princess the same care? Help her stay undistracted, come out of stress?" She replies, "Yes, she works a lot. So I do these small things to help her." After a while, the Choi comes forward himself and asks, "So what about you, Haijong? What do you like? I mean, it looks like you just know the names of flowers. You don't seem that crazy about tea. What do you like?" "I was just curious, that's all." Du-hai keeps looking at him in a strange way. On the other side, the Prince Ian is sleeping, but it's a disturbed sleep, eyes squinting, tossing. Seeing this, Hui Ju gently strokes him and thinks about what he said. "I'm not scared for myself. I'm scared that my honor will end up harming you," he had said. She says to herself, "I'm scared too, scared that I might end up running you," and she just watches over him. The next day, the Hui Ju gets a call from her brother. "What have you done? There's huge damage to our business. And a prosecutor's investigation? I don't know what to do." He says all the board members have been subpoenaed. Father is about to be summoned at this rate. Dad keeps calling too. At that moment, the Prince Ian and assistant Du Hei arrive. She says, "I'll go see my father who's a bit unwell," and calls Choi and rushes off on her own, driving fast. Everyone thinks she's going to see her father, but she goes straight to the Prime Minister's office. "Tell me, what do I have to do? Both the company and the palace are a complete train wreck, and there's nothing I can do. Tell me what I should do. I'll do exactly as you say." He replies, "You don't need to do anything right now. I'll make sure you don't get hurt." She says, "I'm not asking you to protect me. I came for him." The Prime Minister gives her a suspicious look and says, "So you're not even pretending anymore?" She thinks and says, "Yes, I've started to really like the Prince Ian." She walks out. It's unclear what was discussed. From there, she goes straight to see her father. The moment she arrives, she falls on her knees. "I messed up, please forgive me. I failed at everything. I deceived you and hurt the company, everything. Please help me just this once. I want to make things right, but I don't know how." And she starts crying. Seeing this, all the family members are shaken. They've never seen her like this. Her father comes close and says, "You call yourself a businesswoman? Crying like this? This isn't like you. Tell me, who are you trying to save here? You or him?" Hui Ju looks up at her father with tears and just stares. On the other side, the Prince Ian is working when the Du-hee brings him black tea. "I heard you enjoyed black tea, so I brought this for you. Relax a bit." She also asks, "Why don't you take a rest for a few days?" Then Prince Ian replies, "Why would I rest?" Du-hai says, "The Prime Minister's office has requested that you cease your official duties." Prince Ian says, "Oh, they made a request," and stands up. At that moment, Hui Ju sends a message, "I'm coming there to see you." Immediately, the Prince Ian tells the Du-hye, "Do not tell any of this to my wife." Then Prince Ian waits at his place. Now the Hui arrives. The moment the Hui Ju sees him, she runs and hugs him. He asks her, "What's this? What's wrong?" But the Hui Ju suddenly says, "Let's get a divorce." The moment he hears that, the Prince Ian breaks and both just look at each other alternately. The episode ends with this scene. Now there's an epilogue. The Hui Ju, while crying to her father, says that she knows how to protect herself, but she doesn't know how to protect him. "Please help me. I'm asking you for the first and last time, please help me," she says, continuing to cry. Seeing this, the father, Taeju and Dayoung, everyone feels it. It's quite heartbreaking. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. If you like the way this video was explained, please give it a like. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode. Until then, goodbye.